I am very excited this morning, as I said, to have the Shaws up here. And this morning, Patty is going to share some more wonderful words of wisdom. Patty is an author, a business owner of a company here in Ferndale, and I consider her a friend and a friend to COE. I know that she always has wonderful, thoughtful things to say, so please sit back and relax and help me welcome to the podium Patty Shaw.
Thank you, Reverend Lisa. You always give such nice introductions.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone online. Why do bad things happen to good people? I'd like to answer this with a teaching from Gautama Buddha, who gave this message to one of his humble farmers who came to him and said, "Teacher, I am a good man. Why do bad things happen to me?" The Buddha lovingly responded with, "Bad things happen to good people because they are not immune to the laws of nature. Just as the rain falls on the good and the bad, so do the hardships of life. Good people are not exempt from suffering, but they have the strength to endure it with grace and equanimity. Furthermore, the hardships of life are opportunities in life for growth and self-discovery. They teach us valuable lessons and make us stronger and more compassionate towards others. So do not lament your misfortune, but embrace it as a means to evolve and become a better version of yourself. Bad things do happen to everyone, but it's how we respond to them that matters. Embrace the challenges that life throws at you. They will make you stronger." Thousands of years later, our guru is Google. And when I asked the same question, I found over 150 titles poised and ready to enlighten me. The one that stood out is a bestseller, and you may have read it. It was written by Harold Kushner, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Rabbi Kushner lost a child and takes us through his feelings of the unfairness of it all, especially since he is such a good man. He's a rabbi and devoted to God. Using his own example of suffering and the story of Job from the Torah, which we call the Bible, he brings us to the conclusion that this very question about fairness, about suffering, leads us to many more questions about God, about life, and about the laws. To quote Rabbi Kushner, God's job is not to make sick people healthy. That's the doctor's job. God's job is to make sick people brave. To make sick people brave. That really got to me. And Buddha said, bad things happen to everyone, but it's how we respond to these events that matter. Embrace the challenges that life throws at you. It will make you stronger. It will make you stronger. It sounds like they are telling us that our suffering is not just for the sake of suffering, that our pain or bad things is meant to mature our soul through courage and strengthening our character. All of this reminds me of my mother. She suffered. The whole time she was succumbing to the next awful wave of her disease that destroyed her body, she would ask, "Why does God hate me?" Directed that question just to me. I was verklempt. I understood the question. I know that she was asking me, why do bad things happen to good people? So I held firm. I said, God doesn't hate you. God loves you. But that did not answer the question as to why she was suffering and why her life had become so small and so painful. Through my mom's experience, I saw firsthand that in the midst of our pain is when we are the weakest. And we can't really apply the beautiful teachings from Jesus and Buddha and Rabbi Kushner. What my mother was teaching me was that we needed to ask for help instead of asking, why does God hate me? In hindsight, I realized that this was her way of asking for help, but in the moment, I was too frozen into desperation. I didn't know the answer. Thinking back, if we did ask, we would have been shown that a conversation with God would have ignited some inner strength. Neil Donald Walsh reminded us of that in his book, A Conversation with God, an excellent book if you haven't read it yet. Well, much later in life, it was through Barbara Y. Martin and Dimitri Moretis' book, Change Your Aura, Change Your Life, that I learned how to have that conversation in a more productive way. I think we can marry the teachings from Buddha with the practical lessons from Neil Walsh and Barbara Martin to get us to a place where God teaches us how to be brave in the way that Rabbi Kushner talks about. For our understanding, let's review what Buddha said. Good people endure hardships with grace and equanimity. Grace means blessings from God. God's grace is defined as undeserved favor. Grace cannot be earned. It is something that is freely given. So to endure with grace means God gives us love and support, whether we believe we deserve it or not. It's just there. Equanimity means mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. In order to receive blessings from God, we must be calm in our thoughts and our emotions. We need to step out of the chaos we are experiencing and focus only on the love and peace that is God. Here's where the rubber meets the road. We can get into the mindset Buddha teaches us when we raise our consciousness above our current thoughts and feelings about the situation we are currently in. And we do that during meditation. And where we need to be is in our higher self point. And that's a real place in the aura. The higher self point is 24 inches above your physical head. When we are here in our consciousness, we are on sacred ground and can tune into everything God is projecting to us, which is all the good stuff. It's about how much we are loved and that we are eternal. In our higher self point, we know without a doubt that all of our pain and suffering is a temporary condition, but holds the key to something we are trying to understand about ourselves. It's the key to becoming a better version of ourselves and how to get there. But I get ahead of myself. I want to tell you that while we are in the middle of our bad thing, we can build up our ability to be brave and get through it. When we do that, it won't be a question of why do bad things happen to good people. It will be a question of, what am I going to do with my bad thing? A much more useful question, in my humble opinion, where the first question feels like a victim of circumstances that leaves us without options and maybe without opportunities. The second question opens the road to the self-discovery that Buddha was talking about. So how do we build up the power we need to get through what we're going through? We connect, we ask, and we receive. And wherever you find resistance, get rid of it. I'm talking about a very practical process with very deep spiritual roots here. Okay, let's go through the steps. We connect to God in our higher self point by putting our attention there, and then we ask for help. We ask for understanding. We ask for blessings. Why am I going through this? What do I need to help me understand? What do I need to help me be brave so I can get through it? When the resistance comes up, name it and remove it. You will resist, and it comes up in a lot of different ways. Here's some examples. It can look like distraction. You may find yourself spending your precious time on Facebook or talking on the phone lamenting about your problems yet again. You may say, this is stupid, this is foolish, I'm just talking to myself. You may deny God exists, because what God would allow so much pain and suffering to exist in the world? And that's a very common one. I think God hears that one a lot. You may be afraid that God won't answer you because you're so insignificant, you're such a tiny piece of the universe. That one is also very common, because we do spend a lot of time on our own, believing we are alone and having to figure out all this crap by ourselves. Or you're clean out of trust. You just don't trust anyone anymore. And now you're trying to trust an inspirational message that sounds just like your own voice. It can feel ridiculous. It can feel hopeless. Do your best to recognize this resistance and push it away. It does not serve you. Now it's time to receive. You got the jazz out of the way. Receive. You have to receive what you are asking for. It's simple as that. Ask believing that you are being given what you need. Another important part of our aura is our heart chakra. It is the seat of the soul, and it needs to be open for your soul to be able to receive what God is giving you. Now that you've taken this message deeply in, do what you are guided to do. It's up to you to grab that inspiration and act on it. This is called applying what has been given. If you are guided to stand up for yourself, or tell the truth, or forgive someone, or trust the process, or act on an important decision you've been putting off for whatever reason, just do it. Just do it. This is how God makes sick people brave. God asks us to do something. This is how we build up power to face our challenges. Ultimately, what you learn from your experience will give meaning to your life in a way that no book or sermon can give you, because it is so personal and so relevant to your own spiritual evolution. You are a soul who learns through experiences. When you allow the reason for your experience to teach you why you had it in the first place, you will no longer need to ask, why do bad things happen to good people? Because you will already know the answer. Pearls of wisdom often come in forms of art, all kinds of art. And I have a quote from a novel called The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Her character had this pearl of inspiration told to her. Every hardship of life is some key to a greater understanding, and it was up to you to choose how to use it. Are you going to unlock the future, or are you going to bolt the door? This inspirational thought or idea or quote, or however it came to her, helped her make a life-changing risk, take a life-changing risk. Now, I know it's a story, it's a novel, but doesn't it reflect how we are and our opportunities and how we look at life? One last thing, I'd want to recommend this book to you. It's funny and it's profound, and it's about the meaning in life and how to find the meaning in your own life. It's called If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Karamura. I recommend you pick it up and read it. No matter where you are in your life, you don't need to be at that precipice of anything big and bad happening to you, but it's a great way to open your mind, to start doing some self-searching and self-discovery. May God bless you with grace and equanimity. Thank you.